What's up, everybody? It's Joe from Empire Music, empiremusic.com in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We are a Martin custom shop expert dealer, one of only 20 in the world, and one of only 5 Martin preferred online partners. And we bring you great Martin guitars every day. We're at the factory all the time, bringing you awesome custom shop instruments like the one I'm about to show you. Check out empiremusic.com. You can see our entire selection of Martin guitars is massive. Standard line, custom shop. A really big goal of ours is to get you the right guitar. Not only a great guitar, but the right guitar. We carry only a handful of brands, carry them crazy deep, so we can make sure you get the best fit for you. You know we always dial in every single guitar with our pro setup, dialing it into spec. And our goal with that is if a touring artist was getting ready to play our guitar live, how are we handing it to them is how we're handing it to you. So we're gonna dial in and make sure it's the best playing experience that we can offer with your instrument. And you know we always want your trade-ins. There's a trade-in portal on the site. Hit us up and send in your trade-in information. We'll get you a hooked up deal on a brand new guitar. Now, you know, Martin Custom Shop is just something that we are really, really passionate about. I've been to the factory 3 times already in 2025, and it's now, I guess, almost July. No, it is July. It is July today. There you go. Tells you how many time flies when you're having fun at the factory. So I've been out there 3 times. In 2024, we went to the factory, and it takes about a year for the guitars to show up. That's kind of the lead time. And we have a wood locker there, and we do wood selections with the team at Martin. And this is a really important part of what we do here at Empire, because not only are we selecting unique tone woods, but we're selecting the best versions of those tone woods through the custom shop that have been sorted for size, thickness, density, and then we spec out the guitar all the way to give you the best version of that instrument, like this amazing custom shop HD-28. Now, if you follow our site at all, you know we do tons of Martin custom shop stuff. We do a lot of traditional. We have a huge run of Honduran rosewood guitars running right now, classic Adirondack tops, Honduran back and sides, huge sounding, very popular, just basically a souped up HD-28. Then we do something like this, which I'm really, really excited about, because this is something I'm really passionate about personally, is this custom shop HD-28 featuring an Engelmann Spruce top and African Ebony back and sides. You can see the photos of every guitar on our site, never a stock photo, so you'll always know you're getting the one that you see. A big part of tone woods is not only just the wood combination, because you know if you think you've played a rosewood guitar in a Martin voice, in a Taylor voice, in a Gibson voice, they all sound different, right? So knowing how to handle the woods within a brand, within the bracing structures, and then within the custom shop is really important. That's why we spend so much time out there. I'm going to show you the Ebony now because it's so beautiful, and it's the allure of it. But it's a wood I've worked with a lot before because I love the sound of it. That's why we do it. Look at that. Now every guitar has its own graining and veining pattern. It's really a spectacular visual with all the striping. It's a beautiful guitar, right? Ebony, African Ebony. It's a hard, dense wood. Now, what does that make people think immediately? Oh, it's going to be bright and tinny. I've used Ebony in a lot of brands building custom shops. This is my first time doing it broadly with Martin. And I know the tricks of the trade here because there's some things that we can do with Ebony to keep it in Martin's vein. You heard the guitar at the intro. It's full, it's fat, but you still get all the benefits of Ebony, which is hyper-focused, super defined, tons of clarity, and lots of beautiful overtones. I mean, it's just a really responsive guitar. Since that density is there, when you play the guitar lightly to heavy, your pick attack is going to really change the dynamic of the guitar more dramatically with a dense back and side than it would with, a softer back and side. So you really have a ton of control over this guitar. So we do that, the Ebony, because it gives us really clean balance top to bottom. But we want to keep it warm and we want to keep it mature sounding because that's the Martin footprint. And I always look at our guitar selection or your guitar collection is like a box of crayons, right? We have blue, we have red, we have green. Now, some of us want just the 8 crayon pack. Cool, we can do that. Some of us want the 128 pack. Some of us want the 256 pack, where now you're getting variations of just minor variations. We try to fill those gaps in sound because a lot of times somebody like, hey, listen, I like this D18, but I wish it was more lively. Or I like this rosewood, but I wish it was more smooth top to bottom. This is what these guitars are for. These fill in the blanks between the tone woods that are standard in the line, and when done properly, and not just done because they're pretty, you get an incredible instrument that keeps the footprint of the brand. We never want to leave the deal, right? We never want to leave Martin's sound because that's what we came here. The feel of the guitar, the tone of the guitar is dramatically and for sure Martin guitars. It's just a variation that fits in between some other tone woods that allows you to kind of have an extra ability to get a different sonic experience, but still stay within the brand. So we have the Ebony, which keeps it very, very focused, dynamic, really, really beautiful sounding. It's kind of like, I want to say, an electric sounding guitar. I mean, it's a very, very dynamic guitar. But then we put an Engelmann Spruce top on it. The reason I picked Engelmann for this is, for those of you who don't know, Engelmann Spruce grows in the Pacific Northwest. And it's a guitar that kind of sounds vintage already. You know what I mean? It's just like a top. You know, Sitka Spruce is very popular. It's just maybe a little bit louder than this at the very, very top end. But definitely not as fat or, I guess, characterful. I mean, this, you know, with Engelmann, you get a lot of character. It definitely has the density of a more mature top, an older guitar. So you have that, and that gives you that roundness and that character that we're looking for that fattens up our Ebony. So we kind of get the focus and definition from the Ebony, and we round it up and keep it lush with the Engelmann top. Engelmann tops are really beautiful. They're light colored. They're just gorgeous. I mean, they're just really, really pretty tops, very silky looking. We love working with that because it still gives you tons of overhead. You have profound amount of output here. You don't need to worry about not being heard. It's not going to be as loud as Adirondack, but that isn't the holy grail of life. Everything isn't how loud something is. You know, it's just like, it's how it reacts in your hand. And Engelmann, since it is a little bit more broken in sounding, more mature, is also very player friendly in the sense of you're going to change the way the guitar sounds dynamically with your pick attack, which fits the story of the back and sides. I promise you, we put a ton of thought into these guitars. They aren't, hey, what's pretty, let's slap a different back and side on an HD-28 and call it a day. It's a lot more thought out from that on my end, making sure that I'm bringing you the right top to fit the right back and sides. And what's amazing about the custom shop is not only is it, the wood is sorted, so even if you get a rosewood guitar, it's sorted to be the best rosewood in the factory. Then it's sorted for body shapes. They're sorting it. This is the best dreadnought. This is the best OM. This is the best double O. So now you aren't picking a guitar that's too stiff, a piece of wood. It's too stiff. In the production line, I mean, you're getting great guitars from Martin, great wood from Martin, but they're not hand selecting the backs and sides for every guitar based on its body shape. They're not doing that. You know what I mean? No, it's just impossible to do that. In the custom shop, we're doing that. We're hand selecting the woods. We're feeling and flexing the woods. And they've already sorted them with their standards to be, hey, this is a dreadnought guitar. So the best version for that. And that's really important because we're maximizing the entire experience here. And it gets built at the custom shop team, which is the most experienced group of luthiers, which is really, really important. So we put a beautiful Engelmann Spruce top on it, beautiful African ebony back and sides. Then since we have a really tight fit with the guys at Martin, we knew Golden Era was going to be a big part of the story for Martin moving forward. So Golden Era bracing, deep scallop bracing that allows the guitar to be much warmer, much fuller, and much louder. Huge response to that. So the Golden Era bracing package is included. We have the fingerboard thickness. It's authentic. So true to the pre-war Martin guitars, the correct thickness of the fingerboard matched with the Golden Era neck shape, which is a modern neck shape. It feels a lot like the modified PA low oval taper. When they went to the authentic fingerboard on the thickness here, to keep everything right and not feeling goofy, we added what we took away from the top and put it on the back. So it feels really natural. A beautiful neck volute, open gear tuners, hard shell case, low heel profile, all the things you'd expect from their Golden Era package are built right in, which is not only, I think, the best sonic choice for sure, because it gives you the most open and full sounding guitar, but it's a really great feeling package too. All the feel appointments are amazing. Now, for those of you who watch my videos, you know I like to highlight two things when I do a guitar demo. I like to do dynamic range, which is kind of showing how the guitar performs light to heavy with a pick attack, and then do the mids of the guitar for balance. The reason these things are important is I don't care if you play the guitar at a professional level or if you're a novice. We're going to play the guitar with different attacks, and we want to know, how does it perform lightly? Does it have character when it's played lightly, or does it sound thin? Do I need to go smaller, bigger? This helps us get you the right guitar. This is just a big, big part of why people come to us, because this little demonstration highlights our thought process when we're talking to you. If you're like, oh, I like to play fingerstyle guitar and I never strum and I want something really cozy, well, we wouldn't pick you a dreadnought. We'd go to a smaller body guitar, right? We'd work within something like broad like that, or even more minute for sure. And then the mids are really important to me, because if you have a guitar and you can't hear all the 6 strings, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And this is a big obstacle in the guitar business. is that people come in, I want a bassy guitar, and you hear this big thuddy mess, or you go see a show and the singer's playing up there and they're strumming and you can't tell what's happening. There's like just noise coming out. We want 6 distinct voices with our strings at a custom shop level. We want that guitar to be voiced. And I'll guarantee you, if you're playing live and you're plugging in, your audience wants that. If you're recording, your studio engineer wants that. You want your music to be heard. That's why the strings are on there, right? What's really great about this guitar and dynamic range I want you to think about is because of the Engelmann and because of the African Ebony, what did I say? It's very dynamic with your pick attack. So you're gonna hear an incredible amount of tone, character with light attack. And then you're gonna hear how this guy opens up. When it opens up really great. The mids I think you'll find to be really beautiful. Let's do it. My favorite part of this guitar is on that, or I guess the part that I think would stick out that if you are a person that just looks at like, oh, ebony guitars are going to sound a certain way, that you, something that you might not expect that you should in this, is the bass response. If you listen to that, the open notes, when I land on that G, it is big, it's boomy, but it's still very in focus. Definitely more than rosewood. You know, if you look at the like a sound wave, the rosewood would be like real wide, right? And it'd be kind of like wall, you know, it's like really like all like that. Whereas the bass on this is still gonna be profound, but it's gonna stay more in its lane. And the sustain on the bass is unbelievable, which is really, really cool. You can also hear the overtones both as we start to pick up the dynamic picking, like through the light picking. We start to get to the heavier part of the light picking. And as we introduce the heavier strumming, you hear all those overtones. It's immediate. It's really exciting as a guitar player. And you start to hear all this stuff happening. Like, oh man, that's a lot of colors that I'm not used to. Really, really cool. So a ton of character in the sound. The mids of the guitar sound incredible because Ebony is a guitar that provides a lot of balance, and the Engelmann gives us that warmth but still keeps the focus. So everything we did, every yin had a yang, you know, it had something, everything kind of matched together like a puzzle piece, that we're choosing the back and sides, but we're making sure we're counterbalancing with the right top, embracing to keep you full, warm, sound like a Martin guitar, kind of slot you in so you get a little bit more clarity, a little bit more balance, a way more pick definition, which is really, really cool. So if you like that as a guitar player and you want to really control the instincts of your guitar, right, you can really do that here. It's a phenomenal instrument. It's a Martin Custom Shop HD-28 with an Engelmann Spruce top, African Ebony back and sides. That's an Empire Music exclusive. We bought it. Basically all the Ebony that they had at the factory last year, which is really cool. We're really excited about Ebony. It's been great for our customers to seem to really like it. If you're looking for a guitar that gives you all that focus and definition, great, it's here. Check out our entire collection of Martin Custom Shop guitars right at empiremusic.com. You can chat with us on the site. We do 0% financing. We take trades, of course. Call us, 412-343-5299. We can get you the right guitar. This is really, really important. Martin makes great guitars. We're going to get you the right one for you. We stock just, again, a handful of brands, super deep. So no matter what you want, we're always going to find the best fit for you and make sure what you're eyeballing on our site is going to do what you want it to do and make sure that's correct. We're going to dial it in and make it a pro playing experience and expertly deliver it safely packaged. We're really proud of that. So check out empiremusic.com. This is our exclusive custom shop HD-28 with Engelmann Spruce, African Ebony back at sides. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. And until then, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.